Sup guys, Sam James here to give you my brutally honest review on Black Ops 2. Now before I start, I'm going to tell you guys that the main reason why my review for Black Ops 2 hasn't come out like most people the day that it came out is because I try to get a full grasp of the game, try to actually sit down, play it, and ultimately see if I come back to the game. So that's why this review's a little late. But, what are you going to do about it? So anyway, diving straight into this, Black Ops 2 is a game made by Treyarch in the, very famous and very infamous for many people Call of Duty series. So Black Ops 2 came out, I believe, last Tuesday. It came out Veterans Day, which I believe was last week. But anyway, sat down with the game, and if I had to describe Black Ops 2 in one word, it would definitely be disappointing. Black Ops 2 is a game that you see the polish, you feel the polish, you play with the polish, you notice the changes, the very few that there are, but it just doesn't feel right, and you ultimately just end up wanting more, or you ultimately just end up feeling like you just wasted a bunch of money. But here we are. So diving straight into the review, I'm going to start with the weakest part of Black Ops in my opinion, which is the campaign. The campaign single-player experience is pretty boring. It's pretty uninteresting. I have a rule in video games. I'm not sure about the rest of the people. I know a lot of people like to jump into multiplayer, especially with a game like Call of Duty. But for me, regardless of what the game is, I always play through the campaign first. Because unless there's achievements tied into it, I'm only going to run through it once. So I might as well get out of the way, kind of get used to playing the game before I jump online. And I did that with Call of Duty. Right? As soon as I got Black Ops 2 from the store on Veterans Day, I sat down, popped in the game, turned on the campaign, played all of about 1 or 2 missions, and had to turn it off. It was so uninteresting, so boring. I'll probably go back and look at it, and if it does change my view of the game, then I'll definitely put out another video, tell you guys, apologize to you guys. But for now, I'm giving the campaign on a scale from 1 to 10 about a 3. It's just so uninteresting. It's basically the stereotypical now Call of Duty campaign, which is basically like a Michael Bay film. A lot of destruction, a lot of explosions, some pretty colors, some pretty action sequences just pounded together, and no real substance there. So it's definitely, in my opinion, in terms of single player experience, it's just a waste of time. So, like I said, for that, about a 3-4. I'm going to go with a 3, mainly because the 4 is my fanboy talking. So, I'm going to have to give it a 3. Diving into it, multiplayer, obviously, other than the main trolls and the annoying 12-year-old Elmo-sounding kids that you can't really tell apart, multiplayer is basically the same. Biggest difference you're probably going to notice is that the kill streaks from Black Ops and Modern Warfare are no longer kill streaks. They're attachments. This goes from sleight of hand being fast mag. I forgot what the name of the one where steady aim, which is the increased hip fire, is the red dot scope, and that is probably the cheapest thing in the game because the gun does not move if you have it. If you ever play online or you have played online, anybody who has an SMG has a red dot scope, and it's so good, most of the people that use it don't even aim down their sights, they just shoot you with the hip shot. But going back, talking about multiplayer, other than the usual 12-year-old Elmo sounding annoying little kids that play this game, and you're sitting there wondering why the hell their parents just bought them Black Ops 2 when it's such a violent game and rated M for mature, multiplayer is the same thing. You're going to notice, biggest difference besides that, and I know I just completely repeated myself, but the biggest difference you're going to notice besides the whole kill streak turns into that is that the new kill streaks aren't even kill streaks anymore. They're called score streaks, which Black Ops decided to change so that instead of having 3 kills in a row or 5 kills in a row or 7 kills in a row gives you a kill streak, whether it be a UAV, tag chopper, counter UAV, dogs, or whatever. It gives you kind of the same thing. It gives you drones, but it's a score streak, which means it doesn't completely based on kill. It's not completely based on kills. It's also based on assists. It's based on if you do objectives, if you help someone out, give somebody more ammo. I have not figured out how to do that, but I have seen a few people do that, give me more ammo. But you know, ultimately it's just your overall score that you get in the thing. The problem with this is that there's a huge disconnect, or at least that's how I feel, is that when you were playing with the kill streaks, the biggest thing you noticed was that, okay, I have 2 kills left, or I have 2 kills, I need 1 more to get UAVs, or I have 11 kills, I need 1 more to get the EMP, or, you know, just as an example, is that you kind of understand where you are. With this, there's a little bar on the bottom right screen that kind of tells you where it is, but really, other than looking at that from time to time, you have no idea how close you are to a kill streak, which definitely leads into some bad decision making when it comes to strategizing how you're going to get these, whether it be the dreaded camping, whether it be run and gun, you know, the Call of Duty style run and gun play. But yeah, there's a huge disconnect, and overall, as time goes by, you're going to notice that the score streaks really don't even matter. The Dragonfire, which is a drone that controls are similar to the Recon drone from Modern Warfare 3, is basically the Recon drone, except you have a turret on it. Sounds cool, but the problem is the thing could get shot down in 2 seconds, so you're probably going to get all of about 1 or 2 kills before the thing goes down, and that's just the same with everything. The attack choppers, the, you know, advanced stuff, usually in games they have a flare gun which lets them protect from 1 or 2 missiles or rockets launched at it. This game, for the most part that I've seen, attack choppers, stealth choppers, and the, I don't know, the hovering plane, I forgot what it's called at the moment, I'm not going to stop myself to figure out what it is, those things can be shot down at once, so score streaks don't even really play a huge factor except for counter UAVs and UAVs. Those play the biggest factor because obviously it lets you see where people are on the map. So going through that, yeah, those are multiplayer, basically the same thing. Another thing with multiplayer is that the maps are kind of cool. The maps are very colorful, and you'll know what I mean when you actually play it. The maps are very colorful, and the whole customizing of the gun and just your class takes some getting used to, because you have to realize that the kill streaks from the original games are now attachments, and the new kill streaks really don't change much in the game. Yeah, one gives you extended sprint, but you don't sprint very fast. It's not like you're bolting down the highway like with the Modern Warfare series or even Black Ops. You're not like bolting down the street knifing people like crazy. You run slightly faster. It's not really going to play a big factor. Hardline is the only one that I've seen plays a factor, but like I said, the score streak leads to a lot of bad decisions that people make unless you're just normally a camper, which if you are, I fucking hate you. But, you know, this is all love in this video, baby. Come on, give me a hug. But anyway, you know, other than Hardline, there's no real, and Hardline and Flak Jacket are really the only two that have a major impact on the game, because a lot of people throw a lot of grenades and a lot of bouncing betties in multiplayer. Obviously, this is nothing new to the average Call of Duty player. When that happens, Flak Jacket makes it so that the grenade or the bouncing Betty, unless it's stuck on you, does not kill you on the first explosion. Takes some health, gives you the red screen, but doesn't kill you. Definitely comes in handy when you're playing Hardpoint or Domination or any of those where grenades are just flying. Grenades everywhere. But anyway, that's my view of multiplayer. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'd have to give multiplayer a whopping 6, maybe a 7 if I'm feeling generous. And the main reason is because there's nothing new here. It's kind of more irritating. Basically, just irritating. Alright, so now going over to Black Ops redeeming quality, or the biggest part of the game, at least in the fun factor, is the zombies. And, yeah, zombies. Alright, so, zombie mode. Zombie mode. I was about to say horde mode, but that's another game. Zombie modes has kind of evolved since Black Ops and World at War. First off, the newest thing about zombie modes is obviously the new maps, the new guns, but the biggest thing about it is that there's now 3 playable game modes in zombie mode, or 3 game types in zombie mode. Transit, I believe Grief, and Survival. Survival, obviously the normal, survive as long as you can type ordeal that you've been playing since Black Ops, since World at War, and nothing's really changed with that. The maps are a lot huger. Grief is a new mode they added in along with Transit, but I'm going to talk about Grief first. Grief is a new mode they added in where it's 4-on-4 zombie mode. Basically what this means, instead of 4 people working together, it's 8 people and only 4 on separate teams, which means that you're basically going to choose, for instance, there's a farm map and there's a barn, a house, and then there's, you know, the normal run around the map and the open skies, you know, open skies outside. Mainly in Grief, what's going to happen is one team's going to take the barn, the other team's going to take the house, and basically it's whoever can survive the longest. You can't shoot and kill the other team, but in other words, what happens is if zombies, there's kind of a little delay between when you shoot zombies because you want to see if the zombies are going to go to their side or your side. When they go to your side, obviously you're going to shoot them. When they go over to the other side, obviously you let them go. That mode, Grief, if I remember correctly, if that's what it's called, Grief is chaotic, because what happens is when somebody gets downed, obviously the thing pops up, but I don't think if you're on the other team you can heal a person on the other team. So instead you just see a lot of, you're seeing up to 7 revive posts, and you got to figure out who's on your team. You got to figure out how to get there. And overall, I did not enjoy it. I know my dad played it a few times because he got it for the PlayStation. My dad played it a few times. He said it was kind of weird. He didn't really like it. But, you know, I see a couple thousand people playing it from time to time. So, you know, it's got to be fun. Definitely something to check out, or at least. And then you obviously got the new mode, which is the one that people have actually been talking about the most with zombie mode, is Transit, which is basically Black Ops released little story mode for zombies, if you could even call it that. Just so you guys know, there's not really a story. Basically, Transit mode's the only mode where it has actual characters. I believe you get a hobo black guy who look kind of somewhat reminds me of Coach from Left 4 Dead 2 series. You get a nerdy, I don't know, high school, college student. You get a nerdy dad with a fanny pack and short shorts. And I don't know the 4th person because I haven't played with all 4 people. Usually somebody quits. But just to give you a rundown of that, Transit is basically their story mode that they added in. It doesn't have any cutscenes, at least I've heard of. It's just kind of dialogue between the characters. Basically what you're used to with the 4 misfits from World at War and Black Ops. You know, you got the Russian guy, the German, the Japanese, and the American. I don't remember their names, so I'm not even going to try to tell them and disgrace myself. But basically it's the same as that. You're going to hear a lot of dialogue, per se. When somebody kills somebody, you know, they're going to make comments about killing people or dying or being healed, stuff like that. But Transit mode does have one redeeming quality that I like, and that's the fact that all 3 maps and one area that's you can only play on Transit mode, which is the diner area, they're all connected in Transit mode. And what happens is there's a bus that takes you from map to map, and you have to get on the bus. You know, you get on the bus and it takes you to the diner, and then it takes you over to the farm, and then it takes you to the middle of town, and then it takes you back to the bus stop. Start at the bus stop. But basically what happens is, you know, you got to get on the bus. The bus is the most important part of the game because the bus at times can act as a safe haven because the bus is always moving. And zombies, it takes a little longer for zombies to get in because they have to hold onto the bus while tearing off the board, so it's a lot easier to kill people. The only problem is that once they get in, you're kind of screwed because it's a bus. There's not many places to run. Your weapons aren't probably going to be that good. So those are the main problems you're going to see with Transit. Transit's fun. Transit's the mode that I play the most when I'm playing zombie, and you know, the recording that I have for this, which I'm not watching, I decided I was going to record it before I recorded my voice, is me playing Transit. Obviously you've already seen me get in the bus. Mainly, so basically talking about zombies, the newest things you're going to feel about zombies is, number 1, the biggest difference I felt with zombies was the difficulty. Zombies has become pretty hard, and it's not necessarily the zombies themselves, it's just the amount that they throw at you. They throw a lot at you, to the point where playing by myself in World at War, I could post probably to round 17 by myself. Black Ops was around 15, 17 by myself. This, I'd be lucky if I passed round 5 to 7. I mean, they throw a lot of zombies at you, and the maps are big, but there's a lot of things that get in your way. not only do zombies spawn ripping off, you know, the boards coming through the windows, but for if you're playing in an outdoor map, actually every single one of them are outdoors. So for the outdoor maps, they also spawn out of the ground. So not only do you have to deal with the zombies that are coming through the window, you can't really camp in a corner because the zombie will just pop out of the ground right behind you and beat you up, beat the holy hell out of you, basically. So, you know, the difficulty just by that one simple thing has definitely been increased. You're running around a lot, you're checking your back, you can't just stay in a corner and shoot the holy hell out of the zombies that are in front of you. Zombies, if they're on fire, explode, and that also takes your health away. And for transit, the mystery box also moves around. And basically that's it. But the biggest, you know, that's the biggest difference. The other difference that I definitely like is that zombie mode has added in what is called a custom games. The zombie mode custom games is basically going and you have what you like. If you don't like the hellhounds, you can take them off. You can play with headshots only. You can take off the perks and the pack-a-punches if you want to. And my favorite part of custom games is that you can skip rounds. You can skip between round 1, 5, 10, and 20. So if friends are over and you don't want to deal with the slow, tedious start of every zombie game, you can skip straight to round 5 or round 10 or even round 20 if you have the balls, and just go in with total mayhem everywhere. The game does kind of reward you for doing that. The game gives you extra points. For instance, if you start at round 20 as your starting point, you will spawn with 10,000 points. Which, obviously, now the next challenge is to actually find the mystery box, and in round 20 actually be able to cover your boys with a pistol so that they can grab something out of the mystery box. But, you know, overall, 1 out of 10 for zombie modes. I definitely got to give it a 7, maybe 8. It's the same addictive zombie modes you've grown to know and love. The 3 new modes, except for Grief, I have to say Transit is definitely a good addition. I'm not really a fan of Grief, but, you know, I see a lot of people playing it, so it's got to be pretty fun to a certain fan base. Same zombie modes though, you know, run around, survive, and it's just fun. The custom games definitely add a touch to it. You don't have to go through the slow, tedious start. So overall, Black Ops was a disappointment, and I'm gonna have to say, buyer beware. This game, Black Ops, I'm talking about, definitely not a game I would recommend for somebody to pick up. The only reason why I would recommend it is for zombie modes, which means I'm definitely going to be waiting until the price drops before I even dare recommend it to somebody. The game is boring. The game's the same old thing you've played, and I've always been one to say that, you know, Call of Duties are sequels, so of course they're going to be the same, but this is literally the exact same thing. The game's just annoying, it's tedious, and overall it just gets on my nerves. So that's my review for it. Overall, I give the game about a 5 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10 if I'm feeling if I'm feeling generous. But that's my review. Buyer beware. Would not recommend this game to friends. And that's my review. So, see you guys.